Good morning, everyone. It's a story told. Had two beautiful apples, and she went to her little daughter, and he said, I have two apples. Which one would you like? And the little girl immediately took the two apples, bit into one, made a blessing, of course, bit into one, and then bit into the second one. And the mother was really disappointed at the girl, and she was about to reprimand the girl and say, I offered you one, the other one was for me. You shouldn't bite into both apples. But before she had a chance to reprimand the little girl said, Mommy, this one is the sweeter one. You take this one. So, we're now coming to the high holidays, which are known as the days of judgment, when God is judging us. And our rabbis tell us something very interesting. We all know the story of King David. When King David saw a beautiful woman, Bathsheba, he wanted her for himself. So he told her husband, he sent him to the front lines of the battlefield to die, to be killed in war, so he could take Bathsheba. And the prophet Nathan Hanavi, Nathan, comes to King David and wants to reprimand him for doing something like this. But how does he do it? So the story goes that he comes to King David and he says, David, let me ask you a question. There was once a shepherd who had many sheep, and there was another shepherd who had one single sheep. And this shepherd with the many sheep went and stole the one sheep from this poor shepherd. What should be with this person? And King David said, well, of course, he committed a terrible sin. He took away the one sheep. And then the prophet Nathan says, you're that person. Uri had one wife, Bathsheba, and you go and take the wife of this person? And he reprimands him for what he did. So the question is, why did he have to come and tell him a whole story? A man with two sheep, with one sheep, a guy with many sheep. You're the king, you have many wives. Why didn't he just reprimand him straightforward? So we find in Pirkei Avot that says that when we come before God, we have to give a din v'cheshbon. Now, din v'cheshbon means a judgment and an accounting. And the question is, it should have said that there's an accounting and a din, an accounting and a judgment. First you make a calculation of a person's good deeds and bad deeds, and then you give the judgment. Why does it say a judgment and an accounting? It seems like the accounting is after the judgment has already been rendered. The rabbi says something amazing that's a big secret for this time of the year. You know how God judges us? He doesn't judge us. He waits to see how we judge others in a similar situation. And he sees what our judgment is of others, and then he applies that same judgment to us. First comes the judgment, our judgment of other people, and then he says, the way you judge that person, whether it was favorably or unfavorably, that's the same accounting and the way I'm going to judge you. And that's why Nathan Hanavi gave King David a chance to judge others before he could be judged. So therefore we should always judge people favorably, especially this time of the year, if we want God to judge us that way. But the big question is, ask the Hasidic masters, why? Why does God have to have us judge others before he judges us? And they say something so powerful. They say, God gave us free choice in life. What is our free choice? We could choose whatever we want in life. Our path is completely in our hands. It's our determination. So therefore, even when God wants to decide our fate, if we should be rewarded or punished, if a person should go to paradise or to purgatory even, God can't judge us. He says, you have to judge yourself. The way you judge others will be applied to you because you control everything about your life, even your ultimate destiny, and even your fate and your judgment is in your hands because you are a part of God, you are infinity within a body, and therefore no one could control your destiny except yourself, and you have to state your own judgment. Even God cannot proclaim his judgment upon you. You have to self-proclaim it because a person's future and their entire life is determined by themselves and no one else but themselves. And this is a very empowering thought as we go to the high holidays. Firstly, to always judge people favorably, because you never know what you're judging others may be the way you're going to be judged. And also to realize that Hashem gave us complete power to determine our path in life, and even which direction we go, and even the rewards or consequences in our life are all determined by ourselves, because we have Bechira Chavshit, the greatest gift God gave us, and therefore it's up to us to make the right choices as we begin the new year.